Welcome to part 2, guys. So on the last one we focused quite a lot on defenders with a couple of under 23 gems, and this one what we're going to be doing is a bit more of a mixture across different positions, but again we're looking for kind of bargains on the market or things that might not just be that hot at auction that we can pick up underpriced, get a good bit of form out of and turn a profit on the secondary market after, you know, getting some rewards out of them and capitalising on their potential. Like, subscribe, share, retweet. Hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Stay out of trouble. Let's get stuck into it. Now, the first player we come to is Zinedine Makac, or Machach, or Macaque, hard to know. But 25-year-old French midfielder. The last 5 averages are nice, so this guy will be picking up, you know, a little bit of attention at auction, certainly when you look at the SoRare data on the auction page. So be aware of that as well. It will do something to the price and the how many bids actually come in for the guy. But overall, I do not see anything other than value written all over most of these prices that I've seen him go for so far. I've seen my boy Findex Sam actually won him as a prize, so fair play to you. Big fan of this guy. We see he started his career at Marseille, kind of dotted around some transactions with Toulouse, ended up at Napoli and then getting put on loan all across Italy basically before coming on loan now to Venlo. And now that it appears he's settled into, you know, the club and all the rest of it, he's had one appearance there where he only made 16 minutes, but more often than not you can see if he's starting he's going to go over 70, and that's an important thing to remember when it comes to the cards you buy. Yeah, you know, some guys will get subbed almost every game, but when do they get subbed? Are they like an 85th minute sub or are they the 60th minute sub? You know, these are important things to be mindful of. His passing stats are solid. He's got 5 assists and 10 starts. Predominantly been playing most of his football at centre mid. Tackles are good, interceptions are okay, I suppose. But he's starting to play the last 2 matches. He's played left wing, he's played right wing a couple of times, and he's also come off the bench a few. Predominantly been playing left of a midfield 3. As you can see, his strengths: crossing, dribbling, long shots, taking set pieces, likes to dribble, shoots from distance. This is a really exciting player, you know, and in a team that, yeah, they're in the bottom half of the league certainly, but you know, they're going to let a guy like this, especially if he's playing left of a front 3, they're going to let this guy go and let him do whatever he wants, you know, and he's going to get shots away, passes, crosses, and that's all good for us. Auction prices are very modest, I think. It is because it's a bottom half team, but he is on loan from Napoli and that's overlooked. And as you can see, the last game he was playing left wing, 92. That probably been an assist involved in that, I suppose. And then we've got, you know, these kind of bit more average scores from playing. So that was the left wing, the 49 was left wing, and then 3 at centre mid. So you can see he's a solid scorer when he starts. These are all going to be sub appearances when he come off after 60 minutes and stuff. Now we've got Melee Mullenstein here. You'll probably know the connection and all that kind of stuff. But under 23 defender, again in the same kind of price ranges we've seen some of the other guys we spoke about so far. But at the age of 21, you've got 2 years left of him in this category of under 23 defenders. His last 5 scores are solid. Under 23 defender, you know, that's very, very credible and someone who's definitely worth consideration. It must be said they don't win very often. But see, when it comes to an under 23s player, this is gold dust. This is what you're looking for. 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90. Look at them all. They're all. This guy plays every minute of every game, and it's just not up for debate. You know, he was suspended 1 match, you know, whatever. This guy plays all the time, and that is so valuable. Interceptions and clearances are really good levels. Offsides is at a really good level as well. Passing, his accuracy is over 85%, which is amazing. Key passes is really low, but when his long balls are 6.2, then I'm not really worried about that. Offensively, he's got 2 assists, probably from long balls and whatnot. And is there anything else here worth kind of? You can click into that if you want to go see him. Centre back, 6.7, blocking the ball, concentration, likes to play long balls. Really good ball playing centre back, 100%. And look at his 3-day average price, guys. If you need somebody like this, this is your man. This is your boy. And you know, he's only 21. You know, who knows where that'll take him. Look at his scores. His scores are absolutely rock solid. Fair enough, there's a lot of orange, there's a couple of reds here and there. The team he's at never win. And look at how good his scores can be. That is amazing. Now, I started watching this guy because I bought Ismail Azawi, right? And then this guy, the same day, shot 100. And I was like, oh my god. I was like, oh. It kind of cropped up in my analysis and my kind of digging out already. And then that happened. And I was like, oh my god. By the time I make this video, everyone's going to know this guy and he'll run away. But his next 2 scores have been quite modest. So it's maybe kept him off, you know, the big radars. Or the everyone's radars, if you like. His price is still very appealing. He's got a 100 in him, we know that. Okay, now the thing with Heracles is, we'll see as we go through the video, they're above average in mid-table. They do have a chance of finishing top 7. If you look at some of the clubs that they're shopping from and picking players up from, quite credible. Again, since he's turned up on the scene in the club, he's pretty much been a starter every week, especially in their recent good form. He's been a key part of defence, midfield. Defensive contributions all okay. The offensive stuff is all okay, I suppose. But the passing stats, with the long balls being there as well as key passes, you know, he's getting up to about half a game. Considering he's had some appearances at right back as well, I think his stats are all modest on the face of it. This guy's becoming a key part of an ever-improving team, and the kind of price you can find him at the now, well, everything's kind of bubbling under a little bit, as you can see. There's some nice little peaks where the all-round score has been 29, you know, so even without the decisive score being as big with the assists and all the rest of it, then you know this guy's got big games in him just by playing well, you know, at defensive midfield, circulating the ball, passes and tackles, that kind of thing. Sometimes when you look at these overall stats, like we're looking at the websites there, you just see the season average as a whole, so any recent improvement in form can sometimes be hidden in that, so it's something to always be mindful of. I can't believe this guy only has 60 followers on SoRare. When I made my notes for this episode, I wrote boss next to it, and this guy he's an absolute hero of a midfielder. He's at Utrecht, so not one of the kind of more glamorous clubs or whatever. Look at the last 5 average. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know, then I don't know what will. The pricing for him, it's reflected in that, it must be said, in terms of what people are going to try and get from him in the secondary, and the last couple of auctions that have went for him, because the scores the guy's knocking out are top tier, you know, Vlasic, Dorsch, these kind of levels. He's a product of the Alkmaar Academy from the looks of things. Big period at PSV also, so he's also highly rated, and he's just kind of dwindled and found himself at Utrecht after, you know, Alkmaar did have 25 games his last season there. In Utrecht last season he got to 23s. Last couple of games he's got 90 minutes after recovering from injury and getting back on the bench, so it looks like he's back now, and these are the last 5 scores that we just seen that he's played, so massive statement appearances. Now defensively, this guy's stats are up there. Tackles are touching 3 per game successful. Interceptions, it's always lovely to see that above 2. Clearances is good. Dribbling's okay, I suppose. Blocks is about average, I guess. Offensively are equally as impressive, with key passes per game getting close to 3, as well as all the other stats he's got here. The passing itself, 81% overall success rate. Crosses is brilliant. Long balls are phenomenal. And you can see why this guy gets the numbers that he does, you know. In terms of playing positions, it's centre mid or defensive mid, primarily centre mid. Set piece taker, the guy does so much. He's such a great midfielder, especially on the platform we operate on. And look at that array of scores. The guy doesn't have big counts for, you know, goals and assists over his career. You know, they're not zeros, but look at how many greens the guy hits. Look how many 80 pluses are there. There are so many. The guy is returning from injury in good stretch of form, and for the kind of price he's knocking about at, I still think he's got good value in him. It's really about how many games are left of the season and all the rest of it, but you know, if you can get some big wins while the card is hot and available, brilliant. Now Philip Max is an old favourite from Football Index. 27-year-old attacking left back, German fullback. Last 5 scores, you know, the DNP and then the 30 score, that's from today. I don't know how accurate that is at this exact point. You'll see how he finished up that match probably by the time you see this video. But very attacking left back. There's none for sale now. It kind of tells you everything you need to know. I think he's very worthwhile having. We've got some famous faces going and picking him up as well, which is always Terry, like Terry Fox. He likes him so much. He's got 2 of them. He's just come back from an injury, but as you can see, when he is fit and available, PSV are playing him every week. And he's got 5 goals to his name so far. As you've seen, 4 came in quick succession right before the injury. So it just shows you he's starting to get into his groove, starting to find himself comfortable with his teammates and his surroundings. And I think you can expect really hot form out of this guy to close the season out. Last season he got 8 goals with Augsburg, so in the Eredivisie you would expect him to surpass that, you know, and his injury did keep him out for a little bit, maybe took a wee bit of steam out of him. But I would expect him to kick on now with the second half of the season big time. Look how happy he is. Look how happy he is. This guy loves football. He really does. He loves playing football. He loves scoring goals. 6 assists as well this year. All his stats are really good. I can tell you that before I even look at them. Tackles, interceptions are all solid. Offensively, key passes over the 2 mark. Lovely. And SPG assists, where's the crossing? That'll be in passing. Crosses 2.6, long balls 1.2. Really good stats, really good stats overall. And as you can see, he is playing left back, so coming from that defensive position as well. The strengths are there. Weaknesses is defensive contribution, so take from that what you will. But yeah, really exciting player to hold. And he's one you're going to really need to wait for an auction to come up on, or you're going to get lucky and win him. But he's something there's not too many of them about. Look at the scores. The guy is incredible. Top notch defender. It can go into a global lineup. I'd say at D3 level comfortably. So this is a card you could get a lot of miles out of, considering the price he's at, of course. Now, I do feel that, yeah, all of PSV's defenders are quality. This guy is amazing as well. Still under 23 eligible. Solid centre back. Olivier Boscagli. As you can see from the prices, SoRare went for a defender. He's definitely well thought of. He's not cheap by any stretch of the imagination. But again, this is the sort of guy that normally springs up. It's another French defender. How many of them can there be at the top level? He's a product of the Nice Academy, which is interesting. It's not one you see crop up too often. But as you can see, since he landed at PSV, he's been a consistent 90-minute player, featuring in the Europa League for them as well, amongst other competitions. So very strong start in the last season and a bit that he's been there. Defensively, his stats are amazing. He's featured once at left back, which is interesting to see. He's left-footed, that must tell you. Passing stats are amazing. Aerial duels really strong, holding on to the ball. You know, this guy is a top-level centre back in the making. When we look at his passing stats as well, over 80, which is great. Long balls 7.5. This guy is a really good left-footed centre back, and we know what they can do in the real world. The guy does score big. He's not cheap, as you can see the last 3 days, but he has had an auction go a bit cheaper, which is good to see. Does only have one more season. Look at the scores, man. The guy's top drawer. One more season at D3. I think his price will, if he doesn't transfer in the next window and he becomes non-D3 eligible, I do see his price maybe getting a little haircut, not by much, because these scores are just mainly green, you know. Fantastic. Always plays. Amazing player.